Imagine a little girl sitting on top of the refrigerator, screaming. Her parents stand by, not knowing how to help. Nothing they do can ease her pain. She's going to have to help herself. You're looking at that little girl. But I have grown so much since then, and much of that is thanks to this little dog beside me. I was always a sensitive kid. When I was around 8 years old, I developed debilitating anxiety. I struggled in school. I felt disconnected from everyone around me. I was diagnosed with depression and had multiple anxiety disorders, including obsessive compulsive disorder. Every day, I'd spend hours washing my hands till they were raw and red. People made fun of me. I felt alone and confused. Why was everything that came naturally to those around me so impossible for me? Why could I never just fit in? I started having what my family thought was tantrums. It turns out these were actually autistic meltdowns. I wasn't intentionally misbehaving. I was dysregulated and it needed support. These episodes were intense. I'd run out into the snow barefoot. I'd lash out at those around me. My parents were scared to go out in public because they didn't know how I'd behave. I had a best friend for the first time in 5th grade. For the first time, I had sleepovers where we talked and had joked around late into the night. But by 7th grade, things had started to fall apart. She made new friends who were more normal than I was. After that, I didn't have any friends for a long time. I was in therapy and on meds, and it helped me a bit, but my quality of life was still so poor. It was around that time that I started researching service dogs. I'd always connected deeply with animals, and I knew that a service dog could help me. But my parents said no. They didn't think I was disabled. I continued to do research, and I started to suspect that I might be autistic. So again, I went to my parents. But again, they said no. How could I have autism? I could talk. I got good grades. I was nothing like the autistic people they'd previously known. I went to my primary care provider anyways, and she agreed to get me assessed. A year went by before my assessment, and sure enough, I'm autistic. After my diagnosis, the people closest to me began to do their own research, and my parents finally allowed me to apply to a service dog program. I was so excited to submit my application to the program I had been researching and dreaming of for years. But after 6 months of spouse communication, they ghosted me. I was devastated. It was a few months later that, by some miracle, the dog that would change my life stumbled into my life. My twin sister was scrolling on Instagram one day, and she came across a reel featuring a 6-month-old service dog in training. When she sent it to me, I was immediately drawn to the dog. Her name was Cove. I emailed her organization, and soon after met with her trainer on Zoom. After that initial meeting, my mom continued to talk in depth with him, and on a cold morning in mid-November, I found out that I had been officially matched with Cove. On December 18th, 2023, after more than 5 years of trying to get a service dog, I met Cove for the first time. It was raining, and I paced back and forth inside my college's athletic center, waiting for Cove and her trainer to arrive. When they did, I ran out into the pouring rain without a coat on, and Cove met me in the middle of the parking lot, climbing onto my lap and licking my face. Cove and I still had a long way to go as a team. We didn't know each other yet, and we had to learn to trust one another. I was terrified that I didn't deserve her, or that I'd wake up a few months from then and regret getting her. I also continued to struggle with my relationships with my family. One family member didn't want to be seen out in public with Cove and me. They seemed embarrassed by me. Another family member kept asking me not to bring Cove places. They didn't understand my disability or how Cove helped me. But with some difficult conversations, things improved. And with time, my fears around my new life lessened, and my world began to change rapidly. Cove can warn me that I'm going to have a meltdown before I even realize I'm becoming dysregulated. She can lie on top of me, the pressure of her body calming my nervous system, and she interrupts harmful behaviors such as lip picking, and it helps me regulate in healthier ways. This summer, after I got Cove, we traveled together to Chicago, just her, me, and my twin sister, for a giant convention. It was chaotic and it's stressful, but Cove's presence made it manageable. I also kept acting, an interest I'd had for years, but struggled to pursue. I made real progress, booking roles in short films and in commercials, and in signing with an agency. I am now closer than ever to my goal of representing autistic people on screen. Today, I'm a junior at Connecticut College, where I'm double majoring in theater and biology. I am doing better than I ever was. I am living proof that it really does get better. You just have to be willing to fight for the life that you want. Many service dog handlers would stand here and I'd tell you that their dog saved them. But my story is different. I had to save myself first. Now, with Cove, I get to actually live. Thank you.